Welcome to Kain Company with your host, David Kain.
Hello and welcome to Kain Company. My name is David Kain and we're on the CBT News Automotive Network, now streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and mobile devices. And today I am joined by Fred Lennartz, and Fred is a fellow Kentuckian who has shot to some acclaim, actually remarkable acclaim, he and his buddy Lou Ramirez. As I struggle to get that out of my mouth, you'll have to tell Lou I apologize for that, Fred. But certainly, Fred, you and Lou have done a remarkable job as solutionaires with your Car Guy Coffee podcast and the consultancy that you all built to go help dealerships all over the U.S. and perhaps the world soon, if not already. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us, Fred.
Oh, this is more than an honor. You know, the fact that we're on CBT News, but the fact that David is interviewing me, man, I can't ask for anything more today. Way to kick off a year. Let's go.
There you go. Excellent. Well, speaking of kickoff, what's nice about you and Lou is you have your credentials. You got a lot of street cred. You spend a lot of time in dealerships. If you would, kind of give us a brief background of how you got into the business and more importantly, beyond that, what really launched this Car Guy Coffee podcast?
You know, it's hard to keep that brief, but I can do it. All right. So, I got into this industry after doing 4 years in the United States Air Force. I was proud to serve. Went from high school to the Air Force, got out, needed to find something that could help me start a family, be able to provide. Ran into somebody, long story short, got me excited about the industry, decided to go ahead and apply, got hired on the spot, loved the industry, fell in love with it overnight. And 20 plus years later, I'm still doing it. Car Guy Coffee came about my 17th, 18th year in the business. I was in a growth mode. I was looking for something more. I was sitting somewhere, we were, record numbers every month. It was fun. I was having a great time, but yet I felt like I wasn't moving, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. So I looked for more. I started playing guitar. I started doing all these other things, reading more, spending 30 minutes a night to educate myself. And then I figured, why am I keeping this all to myself when I can share? Yeah. So when I wanted to do Car Guy Coffee, the podcast came about because I see some great people doing it. It was a way to get their voice out. It was a way to be able to express yourself and be able to express what the industry is doing. And that's something that I wanted to do, is highlight the industry. If anybody watches Car Guy Coffee, you all know it has nothing to do with me or Lou. It has to do with everything else. It's about the industry. We're there just to cheer them on as we're interviewing, as we're highlighting shows and events like the Kain event coming very soon. Come check that out. But that being said, it's going to be a lot of fun, but we do that and we love it. So the show came about that way. Now the consultancy, the dealership development that we get to do, that's a blessing. That is a byproduct of Car Guy Coffee and our 20 years of industry apiece. With the knowledge that we had, like you said, the street cred, the actual boots on the ground, from doing everything from opening stores to helping them be sold to turning stores to the #1 in the state, between the both of us and then Car Guy Coffee. I mean, the energy was right. Dealers were asking, and when they found out we were real car guys, that exploded too. So it's just been a blessing, and it's just fun. We're here to amplify the industry, much like CBT is, and as long as we can keep doing that together, the better this industry is going to be.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that story. That's really the genuine focus of what we try to do when we go out and work with clients. Of course, we're digitally focused. You and Lou are more broad scale focused. You're working with culture, you're working with processes, you're working with human development. What could dealers expect from any kind of engagement with you guys? Because one thing's for sure, they're going to get a lot of selfies taken. They're going to have a lot of smiles on their faces, and they're going to, forgive, focus, and fly.
That's right.
But is there anything in particular, if somebody watching this broadcast says, oh, I need to reach out to those guys, is there a core focus for you guys?
Our core focus is energy. Energy with process. A lot of times people have processes, but there's no accountability for them. Yeah. There's actually no one really doing them. And then if you go into a store, I run into a lot of salespeople. I ask them, what's your sales process? And all they do is they'll tell me their 10-step road to the sale.
Yes.
But I want to ask from like a client's view. If I was as a customer walking in, what's your sales process here? And people, they stumble through that. So we go in, what they can expect is that their team is not only going to be energetic, caffeinated, right, as we call it, brewing solutions as we go everywhere we go, and caffeinating cultures, but they're going to have a clear, defined process that everybody understands. Each salesperson in that store, to include leadership, will know what a day of success is, even if you don't take a delivery that day, right? A lot of people, everything's success. I sold a car today. Well, what did you do for the rest of the week? Did you build more business? Did you actually do work today? And a lot of people don't know how to answer that. So we make sure that every dealer and everybody on their team knows how to make a successful day and what a successful day really is, even if you don't sell a car.
Wow. Well, I do appreciate that. And it's interesting. My wife actually sold cars with me for a while. You'll appreciate that she's got some street cred on that. And she started out of college as an occupational therapist, but after we had our third child, she said, well, I think I'll give this a try. And she was actually good at it. Not surprising to you, but what always helps me is when the people at home champion the cause of the team there. And I would just be curious how you feel about these families that give so much. I mean, I remember my wife, if I ever worked late, she was like, well, I don't mind you working late, but did you sell them? And we give so much to the industry, we give so much to our work setting, and you and I are both guilty of that. We're on airplanes quite often and flying different parts of the country. How do you balance that, and what advice would you give to the professionals in the industry?
You know, that's a tough one. You know, I think that balance comes through time. You know, you can't expect today to be the most balanced day. You have to look at it as a long game. Setting up vacations 3 months in advance, this way you have something to look forward to. Not just saying we're going to go somewhere, but actually setting it up. That's something that I did. That's a great advice I got, because we in leadership especially, we grind, but we're there to lead by example. And I get that. And that's nothing wrong with that. That's why we get paid the dollars that we get paid, and we get to benefit the way that we get to benefit. But when we have that time off, make it precious for your family. Make it precious for your loved ones, for your friends, whoever you have. Make sure that they know that when you give time, it's all for them, right? Don't be on your phone. Don't do those. I understand. I do my daily check-ins too. I'm guilty of it.
Sure.
But I also know that that 30 minutes is all I'm going to give for it. The rest of the day is for my wife, my son, my brother, whoever's with me that day, my mother. They're going to get all of it, right? And that's important. Am I guilty of not doing that 100% sometimes? Yes. I'm not perfect. I don't think any of us are. So I'm not telling you guys, I do it all right all the time. But what I'm telling you is if you do that, they'll feel the love more, and they'll understand when you're grinding. They'll be like, go grind. They understand, because the vacations, my friends, when you grind, are a little bit better, aren't they? So that's a big suggestion I have, is that to find that time, but plan that time and make sure you execute that time. So
excellent. Oh boy, Fred, we could talk all day. I know you have got a big event coming up, and I'm going to let you cruise along. And I just want to say thank you very much. Please give my best to Lou and your families. I really feel a real heart connection with you guys. So thank you very much, and thank you for joining us here on Kain Company on CBT News, as again, streaming now on Roku, Apple TV, and mobile devices. See you real soon.
Thanks for watching Kain & Company with David Kain.